Kristen, Kyle,
Hi.
nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Thanks for having us. Come
Welcome.
on. Just wrapping up our trip, 3 days. And the big takeaway here is I never travel any place just to see one person. So when you sales guys are out there traveling, you need to then try and find 1 or 2 or 3 other people to see.
The commodity manager of Electrolux wanted me to text her. That was her preferred method of contact. She was getting 200 emails a day. She said, just text me. This was 5 years ago. I'm like, okay. Literally could get her every time.
What's up, guys? Kyle Milan here with Manufacturing Tribe TV. Today we're at MD&M Minneapolis show.
You're always going to remember that person that was different than everybody else. So let's talk standing out and being unique.
We're back with another episode. We've increased some of our production value, so hopefully you guys enjoy it. Brett's got a question. How segmented do you make the emails every 2 to 4 weeks? Are you sending to the broad group of contacts or do you customize? I think that you could do it both ways, but I think in general, everybody needs to see your content. Everybody needs to see something that you're creating and something that you can provide value to.
You can tell a story a whole lot faster in a 3-minute video than you can in a 14-page article or 10 2-page articles.
Everything's about brand awareness and content right now, and it will continue to be that. So focus on producing some sort of content, and if you're selling B2B, which I'm assuming most people here are, focus on LinkedIn.
Number one, we do not charge for this stuff. I put all of my content out there for free. Send it to somebody that you feel may get some value out of it, and also engage. If you guys have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. We'll get to all of the comments after the break. Those comments mean the world to us because it shows that you guys care. So don't just sit there and watch, but please engage and hit those thumbs on LinkedIn. What is up, guys? I'm Kyle Milan. It is Monday. And for those of you that follow our content closely, you know what that means. That means that it is Q&A time. And for those of you that also follow our content closely, you may notice that the background is different. The background's different because we are in the new office, moved into a almost 4,000 square foot office. We're in the new studio. It looks super ghetto, but we are working with it. And you'll be continued to see all of the changes that happen to our background and our setup. And if you guys are on Instagram, please go and follow me for behind the scenes content that we're going to start shooting. Just search my name. My handle is at Kyle J. Milan on Instagram. So check us out. So since it's Monday, you've got questions and I'm here to answer them. For those of you that are new to this platform, send over your questions for the Monday show to askkyle@mfgtribe.com. And we will answer those and get those into the queue. We had a bunch of great ones sent over last week, and we'll start going through them today. After we go through the questions that were emailed over ahead of time, we're going to take a quick, short break, 90-second commercial break, and then we will answer any live questions that you guys have. So if you have questions as I'm going through answering the other ones, then leave a comment, and we will go through all of the comments. Or if you've followed the content, you're like, hey, just came here to say hi, leave a comment and be like, what's up? And get a little shout out. So without further ado, Nick's going to throw up the first question. I'm new to marketing and sales. I'm literally just starting like in the last 2 weeks, no schooling. What are 4 to 5 recourses or tips you would give to someone just starting? 4 to 5 tips. I don't know. I'll just start listing off tips. The main thing that you have to do if you're new to sales and marketing, and I'm assuming that, you're doing both. Maybe you work for a small business. I mean, this is all the information that we get when people send over the questions. But what you have to focus on is that it's a process that you have to go through to where you do certain things. So you need to build a prospect list. You need to prospect with people, reach out to them, follow up with them, rinse and repeat. It's just an ever-going process that the biggest tip is you have to be repeatable and consistent, because what usually happens is people start doing something and then they get busy doing other things and then they don't go back to it. Or before you know it, it's been 3 weeks since they started building their prospect list. But first you have to identify who is your target demographic, who's your target audience for what you're trying to sell, whether it's a service or a product. You have to build on that every single day. Never stop building it. Never think that your list is big enough unless you have a super focused niche and you know for a fact that it's, let's say, 100,000 people. And once you reach those 100,000 people, then you're good. Then maybe that's okay. but the prospect list should always be eventually building and growing on top of each other on a daily basis, weekly basis. And you need to focus and cycle through that by doing prospecting activities, by connecting with people on LinkedIn, by producing content on a daily basis. Shoot a quick video, do a post, engage with your network every single day, build out your network. It's just everything day in and day out, over and over and over again. Don't get stuck. Don't stop doing one of the key things that you have to do. You can go through all of my content. I list out all of the strategies, what to do on a daily basis, spending 30 minutes of your time engaging with your network, spend 30 minutes, 2 hours of your day building out your network, spend 2 hours of your day prospecting with people, an hour on follow-ups, working quotes through the process, things like that. But you just have to do it every single day. Always understand that you're going to get told no a lot, and you're going to get dead ends a lot where people aren't responding. Just take that on the chin, keep on pushing along, because what it's all about is consistency and repeatability, and don't focus on just doing something, getting an instant gratification result. Because if that's the mindset that you have, then you're never going to make it in sales and marketing. Everything's a long-term play. So keep chipping away at it. It's a giant thing that you have to do, right? You're trying to build a company's revenue. You're trying to bring in a lot of new business, and it's going to be little steps each day, but you have to keep on taking those steps if you want to get to the top of that. So hopefully that helps out that viewer. Next question. How do you keep a healthy work-life balance in a field that often promotes the idea that if you aren't constantly vigilant, either someone else is eating your lunch or you are underperforming? So healthy work-life balance, I mean, that's like a trendy topic for the last few years. I don't know. I don't really believe in the work-life balance. And my situation is a little bit different, right? So I started the business on my own. I'm the only one that owns it. And so work is life and life is work. And I have family. I have 4 children, and I'm very involved in their life, but I always work out to make sure I'm there for the important things. I'm as involved as I possibly can as I continue to build and scale this agency. But I would say just focus on what is the goal that you're trying to do, right? So go back to your goal. So if your goal is a financial goal, if your goal is a life path goal, and you want to live a certain lifestyle, things like that, then focus on that goal and do whatever it takes to get to that goal without hindering, let's say, some level of sanity. Hopefully you're doing a job that you love, because if you do a job that you love, it seems less like work. And it's more like you're just doing a hobby and getting paid to do a hobby. So if that's the case, then maybe you won't have a work-life balance issue. If it comes down to the time that you're spending, if your boss is like, hey, dude, if you don't work 80 hours a week this week, then somebody else is going to take your business. Somebody else is going to get your leads, stuff like that. I would definitely say don't work for somebody like that, because they're just focusing on like the tangible tasks and things like that. But if you shouldn't be micromanaged to that level where it's got to be a certain amount of hours every single week. At the end of the day, you're just trying to get the job done, whatever that goal is. So I don't know. I don't really believe in the work-life balance thing. I feel like you should have a job that you love doing. It seems less like work. If you believe in the company, if you believe in what you're selling, if you're trying to hit your goals, then you're not really tracking how much time you're working. If anybody tells you that you should do this, otherwise somebody else is going to quote unquote eat your lunch, I would not pay attention to that at all. I would just say, I don't really care. Like, what I'm trying to do is I know I'm trying to get to $1 million in revenue for this company. I know I need to do these steps to get there. I'm going to put my head down, block out all the extra noise, and just focus on doing these steps to reach that goal. Now, understand that if you're trying to do $1 million in revenue for yourself, your activity needs to be at least 5 to 10x of that. So you need to be doing activity as if you're trying to go after 10 million, because you will fall short, and you always underestimate the activity it takes to reach goals. So as long as you put your head down and focus on that, the results should speak for themselves, right? And anybody that's telling you to do more, otherwise the opportunity is going to be gone. If you're good at what you do, then just tell them to blow smoke up their butt and, just focus on what you're doing. Hopefully that answers the question. I have a video made for my company. I think it's good, but the leaders are dragging their feet on giving me the okay to publish it. What should I do? So leaders can be, it's like paralysis by analysis. Everybody's trying to go for perfection when they first do something. I would say, if you can avoid it, because the leaders may say, like, don't post this unless you have my approval. I would go into them and be like, dude, we're focusing on perfection and we're never going to get it. You need to just post whatever it is. The video that you created, just post it. It's probably good enough. If you just keep on trying to make it perfect and always chasing that, then you're never going to have the quantity. And you have to think about like all the noise in this world of people focusing on social media and people answering emails and phone calls and all that stuff that's distracting them. And then you post a video and you want them to watch it. If you just post it one video one time, then most likely the audience is not going to see it. You have to focus on producing a significant amount of content on a daily basis, weekly basis, and you're never going to achieve those types of results if you're focusing on perfection. You have to focus on producing as much content as you can and get it to the point where you're satisfied to be able to say, I'm going to put my name behind that. I'll stand behind that. If it's a video of you, whatever it is, throw it out there. You'd be surprised at how many people will come back and be like, I love that, because creative is subjective. So you may look at it and say, I like it. Somebody else may look at it and say, I don't like it. Let's improve this, and that. The more people that you ask their opinion, the more chances are that you're just going to delay this out and it's never going to get published. So I would say shoot it, get it edited. If you're good with it, tell them that we need to push this out. Let's just see and continue to evolve and build on the process and build on the creativity as you continue to push out content. But if you wait, like if we waited for this studio to be completely done, then we wouldn't be shooting live today. This is good enough. We could literally be sitting in a room with no paint on the walls and it's just raw drywall, and that would be good enough because it's about the content and the value that you're providing and less about the look and feel. So I don't care what the background looks like at this point because we're trying to provide as much value as possible to our audience. And so if you care too much, then that's just going to hamstring you into producing content, maybe not on this one, but on every one thereafter. Any other questions, Nick? For right now, we can go to commercial. All right, we're going to jump into a quick 90-second commercial break, guys. Leave comments in the comment section below, and we will answer any live comments that come through.
What if they don't currently have a problem with a process or system? Will the approach still be effective?
If they don't have a problem, man, you can't solve it. So if you go into a sales call and you're like, hey, I want to talk to you about X, Y, and Z. You guys have any issues with it? They're like, nope. Don't sell the unsellable. Is homepage content the most important? So that brings up a good point. What you need to look at in your Google Analytics is your top landed pages. And the top landed pages are what page do people first see? And we always look at the top 10. And so is homepage usually the first of the top 10 landed on pages? Yes, it is usually. But it typically only represents no more than 50% of the total traffic that lands on that page first. Is only about 50% go to the homepage. 30, 45 minutes a day working on building out your network. And then I would spend 30 to 45 minutes a day engaging with your network. Assuming that you have deals already in the pipeline, current customers, you have meetings during the week, stuff like that, where it's pulling out your time to where you only have a few hours left over, then that's how I'd split it. Half your time focused on building your network, the other half of the time focused on engaging. All right, we're back. And before we jump into the questions, Nick, you guys may have noticed that maybe you noticed that the lighting changed a little bit. Nick was changing the lighting a little bit. We're not perfect, right? And that goes to what I was just saying. Like, don't focus on perfection. Wait 30 days, 45 days, 60 days from now. This studio is going to be ridiculously nice looking. But in the meantime, you're going to be with us throughout that process to be able to see the changes that are happening as we continue to evolve and adapt. So never focus on perfection. Govind, hype. What's up, dude? That is hype. We are hype. Let's hype each other up. Blake says, thanks for the answer to the first question. You got it, Blake. I appreciate it, man. How do you define a target audience? So defining a target audience is who is going to buy whatever it is that you're selling, right? So that's like the big scope. So for us, an industrial marketing agency, our target audience are people that sell industrial services or products as their core business, right? So from that big target audience, then you got to break it down into little scopes. Go ahead, Nick, change it. Changing the zoom a little bit. You got to break it down into smaller pieces, right? So if I'm going after industrial companies, Then I can focus into categories. I can focus in a geographic region. I can go at company size. I can say these states, this section. I can look at the verticals of manufacturing. Are they in plastics, metals? Are they doing corrugated? Are they doing robotics? Are they doing med device? I can go after industry, saying automotive, medical, like paper products, like everything in it. So you just want to look at your audience as it's a big like bullseye, right? And you just get smaller and smaller and more focused in. And then you have to target each of those different audiences maybe a little bit differently. Maybe you can hit them all up the same, but you want to be able to put them into buckets. So that way you could organize it. So you're not like, I'm going after 10 million people every single day. No, like break it into bite-sized pieces. I'm going after these different smaller groups or buckets of the target audience this week or today. And tomorrow I'm going to focus on this other audience, and just break it down into smaller groups. So that way it's easier to manage. But your target audience is anybody that you can sell or market your services or your products to. Archibald, hi Kyle. Thanks for these live sessions. You got it, man. I appreciate you commenting and joining these live sessions. Hopefully they bring some value. Nick's got his hands up. He's like, there's no more comments. Guys, what I want to know from you is, what value do you guys get out of this content? So following up on that question or that comment that was just made, some people are getting value out of this. Other people are like, dude, you know what? I've heard it all before, and they just leave. But what I want to know from you is there a topic or a subject or something you want to see change in the future? We will be bringing on guests. That's going to be super dope. But is there something you want to change? Leave them in the comment section. Shoot us a question over to askkyle@mfgtribe.com. Even if you have feedback, even if you're like, hey, I don't have a question, but I love that you guys do this. I want to see more of that. Or I would love it if you guys could also do this. We are going to be having, just so you guys know, multiple camera angles in the future. If you guys want to see behind the scenes of how everything's set up, go to Instagram. It's the only place that we can post that content, because people on LinkedIn will kill me. They'll be like, this is meant for Instagram. This is Facebook stuff. I don't need any LinkedIn police saying that to me. So that stuff's going to be on Instagram. Follow me, go to my stories. You'll see that stuff there. But if there's comments, questions, if there's feedback you guys have, send us an email, leave them in the comment section. Be sure that if you're on LinkedIn, go over to the YouTube channel. We have over 250 videos and producing more videos every single week. Hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and we will see you